Nope.
What is up, you guys? It's James from James Reptiles, and today, and in today's video, we're going to talk about passion. Just a heads up, there's no script for today's video. I'm just talking from the heart. Passion is something I've talked about a couple times on the channel for sure, and it's definitely a video subject I'm going to come back to in the future. It's something I want to stay in touch with. It's something I want to be open about in all forms, especially in a hobby like this where people jump in and out of the hobby a lot. I've been pretty entrenched in the hobby for about 3 or 4 years now, and I've been into animals my whole entire relative life. So I have a lot of passion for what I do. Have a lot of passion for working with, certain kinds of animals. I don't know if I would really care that much about working for with dogs or horses or something like that. I'm sure I'd enjoy it, but I definitely have the animals I have for a reason. And I want to talk about just everything that I want to do and everything that I have done, and just kind of fly in here, give you guys a general overview of how I see things. So the reptile room is kind of in disarray right now. There's a rack here that's not doing anything. There's tons of stuff that needs to be cleaned. Some geckos are hatching, which is awesome. A black knight eclipse just hatched. Amazing. Can't be more excited for that. The last one that hatched is a runt, and I need to check on it because I don't know if they're eating very well. I have 2 runts that just hatched. But in terms of things that need to happen, obviously I'm going to clean up this area to the side. You can't see. It's where the dubia rack was. And I need to decide what I want to do with that area, that space. I'm not quite sure yet. What I really want to do is put some custom enclosures there for my beauty snakes. Custom enclosures for my beauty snakes, I really want 6-foot ones, and they're like $600, and to ship one of them's like over $200. So that's not really in the budget right now. Maybe next year. The male I have will probably be all right in that tank for a year. But as adults, I really want to get them, some just extensive enclosures, built nice, built to last, with the wheels, the lights, the locks, everything, stacking one. It's definitely like a big goal of mine to have some large colubrids in enclosures like that. Kind of like if you guys have seen Dan Malary, how he keeps or used to keep his collection. I don't know if he's still breeding, but I believe he's still living in the U.S. at this moment. In terms of, and I want to breed those in the future. I just want to, anything I get my hands on, I just want to work with, and I want to breed, and it's more about proving to myself that I can do it, and that I can take this species here and make money off of it, and work with it in such a way that, it's just amazing for me. Totally off topic. I got a new microphone for my camera, so if it sounds better, hopefully it sounds better. Let me know. Leave a comment. If it sounds worse, let me know too, because I can get a different one. Next, I want to talk about leopard geckos. When I was about, I want to say 12 years old, I got my first leopard gecko from Petco. I saved up a little bit of my money, and my mom actually helped me pay for the rest. Thank you, Mom. And it was just a baby normal, and it ended up passing. I was stupid. I didn't take good care of it. It was on gravel, eating freeze-dried mealworms. It was stupid. I was stupid. I didn't do any research. Fast forward a couple years, I think I was 18 or 19, and I got my first leopard gecko again. I think I had a hamster or 2 at the time, and I just really wanted another gecko. So I definitely, did a lot of research. I watched a ton of videos, looked at stuff that had nothing to do with geckos, and I learned as much as I could. So I ended up getting my first leopard gecko, which I still have. His name's Malloy. Kind of jacked up because he's accidentally got put in with a male at one point. But 3-4 years later from that, and I have so many, and I have stuff I really love. I have all different morphs I enjoy. What I'm not enjoying is the fat tails, and I've also heard that from other people. Fat tails just aren't as it's hard because they're not as popular because they're newer and they're slightly harder to take care of. Though they are more expensive, but their price is dropping a lot. So like compared to the gargoyles, it's the exact same care as the crusteds, right? The little bit extra care on the fat tails compared to leopards kind of scares a lot of people. Plus leopards have such a developed market. So I'm probably going to get rid of the fat tails, and I'm probably going to expand leopards a little bit. I don't know if I'll do it here or when I get a house, but I have this 6-level rack. I'll probably end up just selling that and getting like an Animal Plastics like 12 high, same tub rack, and at that point I can have 12 projects, which will probably all be different, honestly. One will probably be, sorry, my eyes. One will probably be snows and super snows. One will probably be, well, one will be the new orange morph. I'm not going to tell you exactly which one. That'll be coming to the channel in a few months. One will be my Black Knights, and I don't know. Who knows what else the rest will be at this point. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to get a bigger rack eventually for them. Before next year, I need a second incubator and another one of these black racks. These black racks are great for hatchlings, and the amount I produced this year got like halfway down from there. And next year I'm going to have more geckos. I'm going to have more of my geckos that I already had producing, and I can easily see it filling up this whole rack. And on top of that, anything I want to hold back, I can put in these tubs down here. I don't know if you can see them. But they're actually twice as big, and I can put them in there and grow them up and either sell them as adults or hold them back and use them to breed. So in terms of leopard geckos, that's kind of all I know so far that I want to do. Like I said, it was really my first reptile, and I worked at a leopard gecko breeder for like 2+ years. Really, really big one. Steve Sykes, actually, I can say it now because I don't work there. All local, really, really awesome breeder. Yeah, just an all-around good breeder. Very good variety in the shop there. So next we're moving on to crested geckos. Crested geckos are really where I got my start breeding. I did breed fat tails a year prior to breeding crested geckos, but I had no idea what I was doing. I only had a couple hatchlings. I made some money. Probably paid for most of what I put into it. Probably not all of it, but crested geckos, I originally got my first pair from a really good friend who works at a reptile store. He just was kind of getting out of reptiles, even though he still works at the store. Aquarium and Reptile Depot, shout out to them, they're kick-ass. And he gave me a pair, and ever since then I've been breeding cresteds, and I've got 8, 16, 24 crested gecko eggs right now, chilling, which is an awesome number. I'm super proud of that, but I'd love to see that doubled in a year, you know? Only 2 of these are laying eggs, and I have 4. What sense does that make, right? So these gargoyles are going to start laying eggs soon, and I'll probably end up getting another female, or if I decide I don't want to put females together, I'll make a separate rack for gargoyles that are in smaller tanks and have a bunch of females and just kind of move a male around. Maybe have a couple different rows. I don't know exactly. I have a picture in my head of what I want it to look like, but that never ends up working out that way, right? And then this down here is just grow up. So eventually I have a lily white in there that'll be growing up and it'll be breeding, and that'll just kind of help push costs, not to the side, but the cost to earnings ratio will just go a lot better in my favor. And I do want to expand out here. I can't do that because I have these pigs here now. So it's all a work in progress. I mean, the more space I have, the better. Once I start selling some more high dollar animals, I can definitely invest more back in. So in terms of crested geckos, I'd like to have a couple more groups. I think I mentioned a tiger group is on the way. I have some babies I'm raising up, and definitely a lily white. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to breed it to, but I'll definitely, you know, hold some female babies back and just have a little lily white group producing some high dollar animals for me on the regular, which is definitely amazing to have. Next up, we'll talk about my snakes, because they're kind of everywhere. I've got them here, and I've got them way up there. I've got 7 up there now. a lot. Enclosures are really expensive for reptiles if you don't know. Like the gecko rack and the custom enclosures and crested gecko tanks and even snake racks. Snake racks are probably the most expensive out of all that. But snake racks are probably the most, not versatile, but like practical. Snake racks are really big. If you haven't seen, might post a picture depending on how lazy I am. I always say that, and I go to edit the video, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I love making videos. I would rather have someone else edit, and I think eventually I'll probably get to that point where I have someone else edit. But snake racks. Snake racks are like gecko racks where the tubs just pull out, and it's amazing. So instead of having to pull all those tubs up there down and take the lids off and spill water everywhere, I just pull them out, and they're eye level. So something like that's, you know, $2-3 grand. Certain snakes need different sizes, different size tubs anyway, and they take up a lot of space and they're heavy. So that's definitely another thing that's gonna only happen when I eventually purchase a house, which hopefully 2 or 3 years down the road I think is doable. There's a lot of things that have to go right, but there's a lot of decisions I've made where they should only go right. It's just how right in my favor, if that makes sense. When I pick animals I like to work with, just the passion behind it. And I mentioned this on Facebook to someone who was asking about breeding fish in a group. He asked what species, and I said, you know what, man, as long as you are passionate about it, it really doesn't matter. Because let me rephrase that. He asked, what species of fish should I breed in my one tank that'll make me a lot of money? And everyone's saying, oh, you need more than one tank. Oh, you don't really make money breeding animals. But I think personally, if you're passionate about it enough, there's definitely money to be made as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you put forth the effort and are really passionate about it. I think there's tons of room to make money, especially if you focus in one thing. Like I focused in crested geckos, and I grew myself a little group of people who know me for that. The roaches, I'm known in the Facebook group for the roaches. I still get messages by people who want roaches, and I don't have them because I sold them. I'm sure eventually I'll start breeding them again, but probably not. Not for a while, not for at least a year. But snake rack eventually after I get a house, and a house is definitely on the horizon eventually. You know, there's some stuff I want to pay off. There's a lot of money I want to save for a down payment, and you know, I also want to pay more than like a minimum down payment because I'd like my mortgage to be as low as possible. The lower my mortgage, the more money I can put into savings, and just everything. Life would just be better that way, right? And I'm actually getting into investing, so if I can take more money and actually invest it, that would be awesome. Not that I'm really making money doing investing. I'm just practicing with very, very small dollar amounts. Doing well, though, on average. Definitely making my money back. The last animal that I have that I want to talk about is my isopods. They're currently in 6-quart tubs in a rack, and I love them, and some of them I need to sell, but I can't because there's no shows, and they're really something you can primarily sell at shows. They're not something that's easy to sell on Facebook. But I need to learn how to ship them, and I need to find out where to sell them. I probably end up posting them on Fauna. Can't really sell them on MorphMarket because they don't do inverts yet. They're supposed to be able to do them soon. And I can't sell them on my website, which would be ideal because I don't have a website, because there's a couple of reasons I don't have a website. But eventually I think I'd like bigger tubs for them. I always want to keep them in a rack. If I can get something in a rack, that's prime for me, because something that's in stacked tubs with lids, I tend not to check that kind of stuff. I tend to just ignore it and not, neglect it, but I don't take care of it as well. I don't check on it as often, and I acknowledge that. I just think racks are better for me. And if they're going to be in a tub anyway, the only difference between a rack is instead of a lid, you just slide it out. So there's no real difference. it's probably even better because it's darker and more secure for the animal. In terms of future animals, there's not really any other species I'd like to get my hands on this time. I will say in the future, I would like a very small breeding group of bearded dragons. Maybe a pair or a trio of, you know, some nice oranges or reds or even yellows. That's just for fun though. That's not for really business. I'm sure I will get tired of them. In fact, now that I say that, I'm like, do I want those? But there's other stuff I'll get. I'm sure I'll get some snakes. Some 100-flower rat snakes are definitely on the list. Along with some Trimarchon, I actually have in the works right now, but that's a year or two down the road for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm really passionate about what I do. I don't know if you guys can tell. A lot of my family can tell, and I don't think it took long for them to realize that. But lately, everyone I know has been actually really supportive. My dad bought me a light for my camera. My mom bought me like a studio setup light. My girlfriend's mom actually bought me a computer to help me edit my videos better. My girlfriend let me borrow her camera when I first started, so I wasn't just filming on my phone anymore. So I've had a lot of help over the last year, and I definitely appreciate it. You know, I think I'm definitely going somewhere with this, and, you know, even if I don't, my passion's my passion, you know, but I'm going somewhere with this. I'm definitely going to make, you know, a business out of this and see some nice returns. So I'm excited for that. This year in particular, I think I've already made money back that I've put into maintaining the business. I won't say into investments, but definitely into maintaining the business. I've made my money back. So anything else is just, you know, not profit, but it definitely goes towards future investments and helps out. So nevertheless, I'm James and James Reptiles. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It was kind of ranty, kind of just, I don't expect a lot of people to watch it all the way through, and I don't blame you if you don't, but it's just me just being real with you. So nevertheless, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that definitely helps with the channel. I think we're at like 98, 99 subscribers. We'd really like to get to 100. Make sure to hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, jamesjeptiles@gmail.com if you have any questions. Remember to check out my MorphMarket. I'm going to be posting some more geckos this weekend for sure. I do have to help my neighbor move. She's very nice, but I'm going to help her move this weekend. And then my roommate actually comes back to town for a couple days next week, so he's going to be staying with us. Or my old roommate, I guess I should say. So that might cause videos to kind of stray a little bit, but whatever, right? It's not like I haven't in the past. Anyway, have a good day.